Hey everyone, it's Katie with Blitsy, and today I'm going to share with you the Friday 5. This is something where I thought I could hop on Facebook Live on Fridays and share just 5 cool things that I'm seeing happen in the craft industry or products at Blitsy. Recently, I started seeing metallic markers everywhere. So for hand lettering, for brush calligraphy, for just adding details to your cards, metallic markers are everywhere, and there are so many options to choose from. So I narrowed it down to my top 5 that I'm going to share with you here today. So let's jump into it. I put the link in the description, so if you want to shop for any of these markers, they're all available and on sale today, so feel free to do that. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. And if I don't get to them live, I will check the comments at the end and answer them all. So let's jump into it. So I've got this all set up with a ton of markers, and I wanted to walk through each of them with you and talk about some of the features and benefits and comparisons and all of that. The first ones that I have are the Faber Castell Artist PITT pens. These are all metallics. Then we're also going to go through the Ranger Letter It metallic markers. I also grabbed these American Crafts broad tip metallic markers. And then for brush lettering, we have a couple of options. There's the Kelly Creates brush metallic markers, and then the Spectrum Noir metallic markers, which are brush. So we'll take a look at each of these individually. Before I do that though, I have a quick video to show you. We're going to kick it off with the Faber Castell. This video is actually from the Faber Castell YouTube channel, so make sure you check them out. They have a lot of really good inspiration on there. But it shows you how you can use the Artist PITT pens for some fun lettering techniques, and just sort of how the smaller nib works for lettering. So let's take a look at that. Pretty neat. I love seeing how other people can letter. I've been practicing myself. I've been doing a lot of the brush lettering lately, but these are also great for, full calligraphy and the lettering effects that you saw in that video. So that was the Artist PITT pens. This is the pack that they come in. You get 4 PITT pens in metallic. They are the 1.5. It has a 1.5, which I think means 1.5 millimeter. So you can see these are really they feel really fancy. They're really pretty. I love them. And you get 4 colors in that pack of the PITT Artist pen. And what's really cool about these is they're made from India ink, which has a really strong history for artists and designers. It's been a technique that's been around, or not a technique, I would say. It's been an ink that has been popular for a really long time because it's super long lasting and doesn't fade. And what Faber Castell has done is put it in pen form for the first time ever. So that's what you're going to find in here is the India ink. It's really highly pigmented. It has a high light resistance. It's water resistant. It's permanent. So this India ink is actually really good for if you're doing Bible journaling or mixed media, because you can just paint over it and use your other mediums with this. So I did a couple of color swatches here so you can see. I tried to cover up the other ones. We've got the blue metallic, the silver, there's also gold, and then the ruby metallic. And I love how the pen is actually the color of the ink on the inside. And just to give you a little closer look, here is what that nib, it's a small nib. And I'll just kind of do a little swatch here so you can see it writing. That blue is really vibrant. So there's all 4 colors of that. Now these typically retail for $19.50 US dollars. So it comes out to a little over $4 a marker or a pen for these. They're really nice, super high quality pens. Right now they're on sale for Blitsy, so I think they're about 10% off. And they're really great. There's a couple of other things before I move on. There's no need to pump or shake these. They're just ready to go with the metallic right in the pen. So those are the first ones. Again, they're the Faber Castell PITT Artist pens in metallic. You can find them on Blitsy right now. I'm going to jump into the second set of metallics, and these are the Ranger Letter It markers. Ranger recently came out with a line that we carry at Blitsy, which is all about lettering, and there's stamps that are like hand-lettered stamps that you can use for your card making or your scrapbook layouts or your bullet journaling, and you can stamp and not have to letter, or you can stamp and then trace so you can learn your lettering with the Ranger Letter It. So this is a part of that line. You get 5 metallic markers. The colors are not named on here actually, but you get sort of this ruby color similar to the Artist PITT. There's a green metallic, then you've got your gold, kind of bronze color, and then your blue metallic and your silver. So I also did some swatches of this one. I'll show you that really quick. Those ones are up here. These are the Ranger Letter It. It's a lot of shimmer in those. So I'll open up one of these as well so you can see that also has a smaller nib to it. And it's great for, I love these for doing your faux calligraphy. So if you're not familiar with faux calligraphy, you can actually make it look like you know how to do brush lettering, even if you really don't. So here's an example. I'll just do an H. And that's just your typical H. What I would want to do for faux calligraphy is just make all of your downstrokes a little bit thicker. And it instantly changes the look of your lettering. So there you kind of get the point with that, and I'll bring it up closer so you can see the metallic in there. The Ranger Letter It metallics, they are $14.99 US dollars for 5 markers, so it's about $3 a marker when they're not on sale. They are on sale at Blitsy today, so again, just follow the link up top if you want to check these ones out. There's 5 assorted colors in this pack. They're acid-free, non-toxic, and just a lot of fun to play with. So along those lines, number 3 for our metallic markers today are the American Crafts broad, what do they call them? Broad tip? American Crafts broad point metallic markers. So these we actually have in a 3-pack. They come in a 3-pack as the broad point marker, and then the pack also has some replacement nibs that have calligraphy and brush tips on it. So make sure you check that out on the site. But I didn't have the replacement nibs, I just have the broad point to show you. These come in 3 colors as well. You've got your gold, your rose, and your silver. And this is actually a little bit thicker of a nib. So you can, just by comparison, the other 2 that I showed you, the Artist PITT and the Ranger, had that smaller fine nib. How can we show this to you? This one has a thicker nib. More broad, I guess that's why they called it broad. It's a broader point. So again, I'll just do a quick. What I love about metallic markers is that they can be used on both dark and light paper. So I'm showing it on dark so that it really pops on camera for you. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any metallic markers, what your favorites are. There's so many to choose from now that they're just everywhere. It's like you have to pick some up. So I'm gonna pull out another color here. So these are the American Crafts broad point metallic markers. And then I've got some color swatches of those as well. So you can see that a little bit better as well. Okay, next up we have my favorite, which are the brush markers. You can use them for coloring, but also brush lettering, which is really, really hot right now. I have been loving learning the brush lettering techniques. I'm going to kick it off with first the Kelly Creates metallic jewel brush pens. These are really great. They come 8 to a pack. They are super juicy metallic pens, and markers. What's the difference between a pen and a marker these days? That's the other question. But really, these are great for both black and white paper. They sort of have a gradient effect, so it looks like you have 2 markers in one when you're doing your brush lettering. So when you're going light up and hard pressure down, you'll see what I mean in just a second. But it's really cool the effect that you get just with the different strokes that you're using. Here are the color swatches. So you've got a silver, sapphire, jade, emerald, bronze, gold, ruby, and amethyst. And on the back here, I just wrote hello. And you can sort of see how it's light and then the color gets darker as you push down. So it's almost like an ombre gradient. I'm going to do it again so maybe you could see it a little bit more in person. So I'm left-handed. I'm just going to go. So that's the gold. I'm still learning, but it's a lot of fun to practice. So these are the Kelly Creates one. I love the color choices that you get. These, pinks and the purples, the blue. You've got your traditional gold and silver. It's really, really fun to play around with these. They're kind of addicting. Similar to those, also available for brush lettering are the Spectrum Noir metallic brush pens. And these are going to give you an ultra smooth coverage. The main difference between the Kelly Creates and the Spectrum Noir is that these are dual tipped. So the Spectrum Noir not only have the brush, but they also have a fine point on the other side. I also find when I'm writing with them, these are a little bit more of a firm brush tip, whereas these ones, the Kelly Creates ones, feel a little bit softer. So it's all just a matter of preference. There's really no way to tell someone which one is better than the other because you sort of have to feel and play with it yourself to decide what you like. What I will say is that these Spectrum Noirs have a ton of pigment in them. So they're also really juicy. You still get that gradient effect when you're writing with them, and they have a really good feel to them. So here are the color swatches for the Spectrum Noirs. We have pink quartz, amethyst, green citrine, I don't know the way to pronounce that, blue topaz, red garnet, and jade green. And then there is another pack, so they come in 6 to a pack, that has more of your golds and silvers. So that has gold plate, burnished copper, antique bronze, gold nugget, silver, and pewter. So I'm going to do the same thing on the back of here. I'll show you the hello that I did earlier. And again, you've got sort of that ombre effect. And then I'll just write it really quick, give you guys a feel for the marker. Did you see how that color kind of changes? So fun. It's like you just want to keep writing with them. These also come in a nice little case, so storage is pretty simple with these. Obviously you can put them back in here, but I think what I'll do is just, I'm going to leave my packs out, so I've got all of my markers really nice and handy. So these ones are the dual tipped. You get 6 for $16.95 at regular retail price in the US. They're on sale at Blitsy right now, so make sure you check out the link up top. Couple of other things I wanted to point out is this black paper that I'm working on. There are a couple of options. There's the Spectrum Noir Premium Black Paper Pad. This is 9 by 12. You get 30 in the pack, and this is really great to work with. I'll give you a couple more examples in there. You can combine the colors and do lots of fun effects. The other paper that I wanted to show you is this Be Inspired Silky Smooth cardstock for your lettering projects, great for all of your brush markers. This is from the Kelly Creates line, and it actually comes with black, white, and craft on the inside. I used the black for this demo, but you've got your white paper and your craft paper in here as well. And then last but not least, I wanted to show you also from Kelly Creates is this little black journal. So this is also available if you follow the link. Great for using with your metallic markers as well. So that's it. Those are the 5 markers that I wanted to share with you guys today. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite, if you've tried any of these out, or which ones you're hoping to pick up. I will check those later, see if there's any questions. In the meantime, if you want to connect, be sure you go to the Blitsy Insiders Facebook group. Just search Blitsy Insiders, and we'll preview to get in there, and we'll keep the conversation going over there. Thanks so much for joining, and I will see you guys soon.